help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts on the video. Your feedback helps make the contents better. Now let's get to the story. My phone exploded at 3:17 a.m. with the kind of ringtone that makes you question every life choice that led to this moment. Through my half-asleep haze, I saw her name flashing on the screen. Jessica. Of course it was Jessica. "Hello?" I mumbled, already regretting answering. "Baby! Oh my God, baby! You need to help me right now!" Her voice was that particular pitch that comes from mixing vodka sodas with desperation. "My card got declined, and they won't let us leave the club until someone pays the tab, and it's like $2,000, but it's not even my fault, because Brittany ordered all those bottles and—" I sat up in bed, suddenly very awake. "Wait, what? $2,000? "Yes, at Liquid Lounge downtown. The manager is being such a jerk about it, and he's saying he'll call the cops if we don't pay, and I need you to send me the money right now through Venmo or whatever. Just hurry." I looked at my ceiling for a moment, then at the framed photo on my nightstand, the one I'd been meaning to throw away for 3 weeks now. The one where she's smiling at the camera during our weekend in Napa, while I am looking at her like she's the only person in the world. What an idiot I was. "Call your dad," I said, calmly. "What? Baby, no, I can't call my—" I hung up. Then I turned off my phone completely, flucked my pillow, and went back to sleep with a smile on my face that would have terrified anyone who saw it. My name is Marcus Chen. I'm 32 years old, and I'm a senior software engineer at a tech company in San Francisco. I make good money, not rich by Bay Area standards, but comfortable. Comfortable enough that a $2,000 tab wouldn't destroy me financially. But that's not really the point of this story, is it? I grew up in Sacramento, the son of immigrants who worked themselves to the bone so I could have opportunities they never had. My dad drove a delivery truck for 30 years. My mom cleaned houses until her knees gave out. They taught me the value of hard work, respect, and not taking garbage from anyone. Especially that last part, though it took me a while to learn it. I met Jessica 8 months ago at a friend's birthday party. She was beautiful, in that Instagram influencer way, all perfect makeup and strategic poses. I was immediately out of my depth, which should have been my first warning sign. But she laughed at my jokes and seemed interested in my work and made me feel like maybe I was more interesting than I actually was. Classic. We started dating, and for a while, it was good. Or at least I thought it was good. Looking back now, I can see all the red flags I ignored. The way she always forgot her wallet. How every date somehow ended up at the most expensive restaurant nearby. The fact that she never once offered to pay for anything, not even coffee. I told myself I was being traditional, being a gentleman. Really, I was being a chump. The thing that finally opened my eyes happened 2 weeks before the 3 a.m. phone call. We were at her apartment, and she was showing me photos on her phone when a text notification popped up from someone named Brad. The preview said, "Last night was amazing. When can I see you again?" She snatched the phone away so fast she nearly dropped it. "That's a friend from work," she said, not meeting my eyes. "A friend from work who you apparently saw last night? Last night when you told me you were having a girls' night?" The fight that followed was spectacular. She cried, she yelled, she tried to gaslight me into thinking I was being paranoid and controlling, but I'd already seen enough. I told her we were done, walked out, and blocked her on everything except my phone. I kept that unblocked because, well, some part of me still wanted to believe she'd apologize, explain, make it make sense. Instead, she spent the next 2 weeks sending me increasingly unhinged texts. Some were angry, calling me every name you can imagine. Some were sad, begging for another chance. Some were manipulative, telling me about how depressed she was, how much she needed me. I didn't respond to any of them, but I didn't block the number either. Like I said, I was still processing. And then came the 3 a.m. call from the club. The phone call from the police station came at 9:47 a.m. I'd woken up around 8, made myself a proper breakfast, gone for a run, and was enjoying my Saturday morning coffee when my phone rang again. This time, it was an unknown number. "Is this Marcus Chen?" a tired-sounding male voice asked. Speaking. This is Officer Rodriguez with SPPD. I'm calling about Jessica Martinez. She's currently in custody and listed you as an emergency contact. I took a long sip of coffee. That's interesting, considering we're not together anymore. There was a pause. I see. Well, she's still asking for you. Are you able to come down to the station? Every instinct I had said to politely decline and go about my day. But curiosity got the better of me. Plus, I'll admit, there was a small part of me that wanted to see how this train wreck had progressed. Sure, I said. Which station? 40 minutes later, I walked into the police station downtown. Officer Rodriguez was exactly what his tired-sounding voice suggested. Middle-aged, slightly overweight, with the expression of someone who's seen too much stupidity for one lifetime. "Mr. Chen?" he asked, standing up from his desk.
That's me. Thanks for coming in. Miss Martinez is pretty insistent that you're the only one who can help her situation. He gestured for me to follow him. Just so you know, she's being charged with theft of services and disorderly conduct. What happened exactly? Rodriguez pulled out a small notepad. According to the manager at Liquid Lounge, Miss Martinez and 3 of her friends racked up a bill of just over $2,000. Multiple bottles of premium vodka, champagne, the works. When it came time to pay, all their cards were declined. They apparently tried to leave without paying, which led to an altercation with security. Miss Martinez threw a drink at one of the security guards, hence the disorderly conduct charge. I nodded slowly. And she called me thinking I'd bail her out. From what I understand, yes. She's made several calls, actually. To you, to her father, who hung up on her, and to 2 of the friends who were with her, both of whom are pretending they don't know her. We reached a small room with a window looking into another room where I could see Jessica. She looked terrible. Her makeup was smeared, her designer dress was wrinkled, and her hair was a mess. She was sitting at a metal table, looking at her hands. "You want to talk to her?" Rodriguez asked. "Absolutely." He led me inside. Jessica's head snapped up when the door opened, and her expression went through about 5 different emotions in 2 seconds. Relief, hope, anger, desperation, and finally landing on something like determination. "Marcus! Oh, thank God! Baby, you have to help me. This is all a huge misunderstanding, and these cops are being totally unreasonable and—" "Stop," I said, pulling out the chair across from her but not sitting down. "I'm not here to help you. I'm here because I wanted to see this with my own eyes." Her perfectly practiced puppy dog expression faltered. "What? Marcus, don't be like that. I know we had a fight, but this is serious. I could go to jail." "You should go to jail. You committed theft. You assaulted someone." "I threw a drink. That's not assault. And we were going to pay. We just needed time to figure it out." "Figure what out, exactly? How to scam some other sucker into paying your bill?" Her eyes flashed with real anger now. "You know what? Screw you, Marcus. You're just mad because I wouldn't be your boring suburban housewife. I have needs. I have a lifestyle." "A lifestyle you can't afford," I pointed out. "A lifestyle you expected me to finance while you cheated on me with Brad from work. Or was it the gym? I honestly can't remember which Brad that was." She stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. "How dare you! You have no idea what I've been through. Do you know how hard it is to maintain?" "Let me stop you right there," I said, my voice getting colder. "I don't care. I genuinely, truly, deeply do not care about your problems anymore. You called me at 3 in the morning expecting me to wire you $2,000 like I'm some kind of ATM. After everything you put me through, after the lies, the cheating, the using, and when I told you to call your dad, you probably went into some kind of rage spiral that got you arrested. That's on you. If you don't help me, you'll what?" I leaned forward on the table. "Tell people what a jerk I am? Good luck with that. I have 8 months of receipts showing I paid for literally everything while you contributed nothing. I have screenshots of texts from Brad that you accidentally showed me. I have the texts you sent me after we broke up that ranged from threatening to unhinged. So please, go ahead. Tell people what a terrible boyfriend I was for not enabling your lifestyle anymore." Officer Rodriguez cleared his throat from the doorway. I'd almost forgotten he was there. "Mr. Chen, if you're not posting bail—" "I'm not," I said firmly. "And actually, I want to make sure I'm removed from her emergency contacts or anything else. We are not together. I am not responsible for her in any way." Jessica was crying now, real tears that were turning her remaining mascara into black rivers. "Marcus, please. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I made mistakes, okay? But I can't afford bail, and my dad won't answer my calls, and I don't know what else to do." For just a second, I felt something. Not sympathy exactly, but a kind of sad recognition of what I'd once felt for this person. But it passed quickly. "You know what you should do?" I said quietly. "Call Brad. Or maybe get a job. Learn what it's like to actually work for money instead of expecting other people to hand it to you. Figure out that other people aren't just wallets with feelings that you can manipulate." I turned to leave, then paused at the door. "Oh, and Jessica, that night you told me you were having a girls' night, I already knew you were lying. I saw Brad's car parked outside your apartment when I drove by on my way home from work. I just wanted to see if you'd tell me the truth. You didn't. So thanks for making this decision easier." Her face went pale. You knew?" "I knew. I just had to decide if you were worth fighting for. Turns out you weren't." I left her there and walked out with Officer Rodriguez. He shook his head as we headed back to the main area. "That was cold, man. She earned it. I believe that." He pulled out a form. "Sign here to confirm you're not taking any responsibility for her situation or posting bail." I signed with a flourish. "What happens to her now?"
"She'll be arraigned on Monday. If she can't make bail, she'll spend the weekend in county. Given the charges and her attitude, I'm guessing bail will be set pretty high." He handed me a business card. "If you need anything else, give me a call. And for what it's worth, you dodged a bullet with that one." Don't I know it? I walked out of the police station into a gorgeous San Francisco morning, feeling lighter than I had in months. My phone buzzed with a text from my buddy Jason. "Brunch? Warriors game later?" Perfect. I texted back, "Absolutely. Got a story to tell you." But the story wasn't quite over yet. Monday morning, I was at my desk trying to focus on debugging some code when my phone rang. Unknown number again, but different from the police station. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Mr. Chen, this is Patricia Martinez, Jessica's mother." Oh boy. "Hello, Mrs. Martinez. I just wanted to call and say thank you." Her voice was warm, which was not what I expected. "Thank you for not bailing out my daughter. She called me from jail, crying about what a terrible person you are, and I told her the same thing her father did. She made her bed, she can lie in it." I almost dropped my phone. Really? Really? Marcus, do you know how many times we've bailed that girl out of her messes? How many credit cards we've paid off? How many times we've listened to her complain about the men in her life not treating her right, only to find out she was cheating on them or using them or both? "I'm sorry you've had to deal with that." Patricia laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "We enabled her. That's on us. But maybe this time, spending a weekend in jail and facing actual consequences will teach her something. Her father and I discussed it. We're posting bail, but she's coming home to Sacramento, getting a job. A real one, not some Instagram nonsense. And she's going to pay back every penny of that club bill herself, plus court costs, plus lawyer fees. That sounds fair. Marcus, I want you to know that I'm sorry for what she put you through. You seemed like a good man. You worked hard, you treated her well, and she threw it away because she thought she deserved a lifestyle she didn't earn. That's not how we raised her, but somewhere along the way, she learned all the wrong lessons." "I appreciate you saying that, Mrs. Martinez." "One more thing," she said, and now her voice had an edge to it. "I'm going to make sure she knows that you had every right to do what you did. You don't owe her anything. And if she tries to contact you again, you let me know and I'll handle it." After we hung up, I sat at my desk for a while, processing. Then Jason rolled his chair over to my desk. Dude, are you smiling at your computer screen? I might be having a really good day. This is about Jessica, isn't it? Spill. So, I told him the whole story. From the 3 a.m. call to the police station visit to Jessica's mom calling to tell me she's cutting her daughter off. Jason's eyes got wider with each detail. That's the most beautiful revenge story I've ever heard, he said when I finished. You didn't have to do anything except literally nothing, and karma handled the rest. Well, karma and her own terrible decisions. Those two. Man, I need to buy you a beer. Or 10 beers. This deserves celebration. That weekend, Jason organized a whole thing. He invited over about 15 of our mutual friends, most of whom had met Jessica at some point. We ordered pizza, drank beer, and I told the story start to finish. Every single person agreed I'd done the right thing. But the best part came from Sarah, one of the few women in our friend group. She said, "You know what I love about this? You didn't do anything cruel. You didn't blast her on social media. You didn't even try to turn people against her. You didn't even rub her face in it that much. You just stopped enabling her. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting someone face the natural consequences of their own actions." "That's exactly it," I said. "She thought I'd always be there to catch her, to fix her problems, to pay her bills. She thought I was weak because I was kind. And when she realized I wasn't, it all fell apart. Cold as ice, man. Cold as ice." 3 months later, I was walking through downtown San Francisco on my lunch break when I saw her. Jessica was standing outside a Starbucks, wearing the green apron of an employee, looking at her phone during what was presumably her break. She'd lost the polished Instagram look. Her nails were plain, her makeup was minimal, her hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail. She looked up and saw me. Our eyes met. I watched about a dozen emotions play across her face, finally settling on something like resignation. Marcus. Jessica. We stood there for a moment in awkward silence. Finally, she said, "I'm working here now, and at a restaurant on weekends, paying off my debt." "Good for you." "I mean that genuinely. Take a breath. I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not sorry that I got caught, or sorry that you didn't bail me out. Sorry for how I treated you. You deserved better."
I studied her face, looking for signs of manipulation or insincerity, but she just looked tired and maybe a little bit wiser. "Thank you for saying that," I said. "I hope you figure things out." "Yeah, me too." She checked her phone. "I need to get back to work. My break's almost over and I can't afford to lose this job." "Take care of yourself, Jessica." "You too." I walked away feeling something I didn't expect. Closure. Real, actual closure. Not because she apologized. Honestly, that was just a bonus. But because I could see that facing consequences had actually taught her something. Maybe it wouldn't stick. Maybe she'd go right back to her old ways when she paid off her debt. But for now, at least, she was learning what it meant to work for something. That night, I had dinner with my parents. I told them the whole Jessica story over the previous months, and my mom had been worried I was being too harsh. My dad, on the other hand, had been proud. "You did the right thing," he said, over his beef noodle soup. "Not because revenge is good, but because some people need to learn that their actions have consequences. She used you, she disrespected you, you had every right to walk away and let her deal with her own problems." "Your father's right," my mom added, though I could tell it pained her to admit it. "I raised you to be kind, but not to be a doormat. There's a difference." I ran into her today. She's working at Starbucks, paying off her debt. My mom's expression softened. "That's good. Maybe she'll become a better person." "Maybe. But that's not my problem anymore." My dad raised his beer. "To moving on." "To moving on," I echoed. 6 months after the 3 a.m. phone call, I was doing better than I'd been in years. Work was going well. I'd gotten a promotion and a significant raise. I'd started dating again, casually, with no pressure. I'd picked up rock climbing as a hobby and made a bunch of new friends through it. Life was good. Then Jason forwarded me something from Instagram. Dude, you have to see this. It was a post from Jessica's account. A long, heartfelt caption about how she'd spent the last 6 months learning hard lessons about entitlement, responsibility, and respect. About how she'd hit rock bottom and was climbing her way back up. About how she'd hurt people who cared about her and was working on being better. And at the end, to the people I used and hurt, especially M, I'm sorry. You deserved better than what I gave you. I'm working on deserving better from myself. I stared at the post for a long time. Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, like this was proof that my decision to walk away had been the right one, but mostly I just felt neutral, like this was a chapter of my life that had closed, and whatever Jessica did now was her own business. I didn't like the post, I didn't comment, I didn't reach out. I just closed Instagram and went back to planning my weekend climbing trip. You're really over her, Jason observed when I told him. Like, actually over her. Yeah, I said, surprised by how true it was. I really am. So, what do we learn from this experience? I thought about it. We learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just refusing to be part of someone's chaos anymore. It's setting a boundary and sticking to it, no matter how much they try to make you feel guilty or responsible for their problems. Deep, man. Very deep. Also, we learned never to answer the phone at 3 a.m. unless someone's actually dying. Now that's wisdom I can use. The funny thing about revenge is that we usually think of it as this active thing, something you do to someone else to pay them back for what they did to you. But sometimes the most satisfying revenge is completely passive. It's just removing yourself from the equation and watching as someone's house of cards collapses without you there to prop it up. Jessica had built her entire lifestyle on the assumption that there would always be someone to catch her, to pay for her, to clean up her messes. When I stopped being that person, the whole thing fell apart. I didn't have to do anything cruel or vindictive. I just had to stop helping. And that 3 a.m. phone call? That moment when she expected me to send $2,000 without question to enable her one more time? Telling her to call her dad and then going back to sleep wasn't revenge. It was self-respect. It was recognizing that I didn't owe her anything, especially not after how she treated me. The fact that it led to her getting arrested, spending a weekend in jail, being cut off by her parents and having to get actual jobs to pay off her debt, that was just the natural consequence of her own choices catching up to her. I didn't ruin her life. She did that herself. I just refused to help her from it. And honestly, that feels pretty damn good. These days, when I tell people this story, and I do tell it because it's a hell of a story, they always ask the same question. Do you think you were too harsh? My answer is always the same. No.
Because being harsh would have been blasting her on social media, sending those texts to all her friends, trying to destroy her reputation, or doing any number of vindictive things I could have done. Instead, I just stopped being part of her life and let the chips fall where they may. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. So if you're reading this and you're in a similar situation, if someone in your life is using you, manipulating you, expecting you to fix their problems while giving nothing back, let me tell you what my dad told me. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to let people face the consequences of their own actions. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be cruel. You just have to be firm. And if they call you at 3 a.m. asking for money, well, you know what to say. Call your dad.
Then turn off your phone and go back to sleep. Trust me, it feels amazing. Thanks for sticking with me through this wild ride. If you made it this far, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. I'm curious to see how far this story has reached. Are you watching from your couch in Texas, on your lunch break in New York? Or maybe it's 3 a.m. where you are, and you're making better decisions than Jessica did. Also, I love reading about your own experiences. Have you ever had to cut off someone who was using you? Did you have your own call your dad moment? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes it helps to know we're not alone in dealing with people like this. And hey, if this story resonated with you, or if you know someone who needs to hear it, smash that like button and share this video. You never know who might need the reminder that it's okay to stop being someone's safety net. Drop your location below and let's see how global this community really is. Can't wait to read your comments.